English learners, welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're looking at some more romance.
We're talking about dating.
Dating, exactly. And not only dating, but asking someone to become your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yep, that's true. And so we're going to be focusing on language to express your romantic feelings, and also maybe some phrases you can use to ask someone out.
Very good. So I'm sure you guys are excited about this one. So let's listen to the dialogue for the first time.
Hey, you're early. Where's everyone?
Well, I told them not to come. I made a reservation just for the two of us. I thought we could have a quiet evening all to ourselves.
Oh, why?
Jennifer, there's something I want to ask you.
Sure. What is it?
Okay, here's the thing. I've always seen you as more than just a friend, and I can't take it anymore. I know you better than anyone. I know the pros and cons of your personality. I even know what side of the bed is yours. I think we would be great together, don't you?
Are you serious? We've been friends for years. We can't just change that overnight.
I know. I never had the guts to tell you. Until today. So what do you say? Are you willing to give me a shot?
All right, I wonder, is she going to say yes?
I don't know. She seems a little bit confused.
Well, I guess it's always strange when your best friend suddenly wants to be your boyfriend or girlfriend.
It does happen, though.
Yep.
It does happen. So why don't we take a look at some of the vocabulary that was used in this dialogue to express these feelings? And let's start with Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so we're doing things a little differently today. We're looking at phrases and not just vocabulary words. So he used some wonderful phrases to ask her to be his boyfriend. And he started with this. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
All right. That's a very strange phrase. Here's the thing. Is
Yeah.
it giving her something?
Not quite. He's not giving her an object, but he's giving her some information.
Okay. So it's a very common way to start an idea.
That's right.
You're about to tell the person the main problem or the main...
The main piece of information.
Right? So you would start with, here's the thing, and then start explaining.
Okay, why don't we do an example?
For example, you could say, all right, here's the thing. People don't like you.
All right. Well, I hope they don't say that to me. But another example, Marco, here's the thing. We're behind in our podcasting. We have to work overtime.
Okay. So the main idea.
Yep.
Very good. Moving on to our next phrase.
He said, I can't take it.
I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it anymore.
So he can't take it anymore. Take what?
Well, why don't we find out by listening to some examples?
Example 1.
The man next door has been so loud. I can't take it anymore.
Example 2.
My boss always yells at me. I can't take it anymore.
Example 3.
I can't take it anymore. I'm going to quit.
All right. So basically is you can't stand it. You can't tolerate it anymore.
Exactly. This is a phrase we use when we are really frustrated.
But yeah, when we're frustrated or when we just can't handle it anymore. And well, after he finished his declaration of love, she responded by saying, are you serious?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Okay, so what does she mean?
She's just saying, really?
Exactly. It's another way of saying really.
Yep. So this is a phrase that's really, it's quite informal, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't use it in a business context.
No, and it's also something that's used mostly by younger people.
Right. If you say something that's amazing or that's incredible, hard to believe, you might get this response.
Are you serious?
Right. So he is very serious, but he confessed that he never had the guts to tell her.
Have the guts.
I never had the guts to tell you.
I never had the guts.
All right, so to have guts.
That's to be brave.
To be brave, courageous.
Yep.
So we have some examples of how we would use guts in different situations, so let's listen.
Example 1.
I don't have the guts to go skydiving.
Example 2.
I don't have the guts to give a speech.
Example 3.
I've never had the guts to say no to my boss.
All right, so to have the guts to do something. Hey, but Marco, this word guts is an interesting one.
Yes, it is, because guts can also mean your internal organs.
Like your stomach and your intestines and your lungs.
Exactly. Those are your guts.
Yep. So when you have guts, you're really brave.
Exactly. You're courageous. All right, very good. Why don't we listen to the dialogue for the second time? We're going to slow it down a little bit, and we'll come back and look at some phrases and putting it together.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I promised myself I would tell you the truth, even if my voice trembles. This is for anyone learning English and learning how to love without losing themselves. I moved to a new city in spring. The air smelled like warm rain on pavement, and the sidewalks looked newly washed. There was a tiny coffee shop by the bus stop, wooden chairs, a brass bell on the door, and a barista who drew little hearts in the foam. He held the door for me. I said, "Thank you," and he smiled with his eyes first, then his mouth. Let's call him Daniel. That day, I ordered tea, and I pretended not to notice how my hands shook when I lifted the cup. At the beginning, everything felt easy. We didn't perform, we just arrived. After our first walk, a message arrived. "Did you get home safe?" I read it twice. It felt like a warm blanket placed gently on my shoulders. I told myself, this is what care looks like. The next day, another message. "I found the poem you mentioned." I smiled at my phone like it was a small window with sun behind it. We built little rituals: Friday night playlists, a shared note of book quotes, midnight pasta with lemon and too much pepper. My favorite memory was a rainy Friday when the power went out. We lit candles and read poems to each other, laughing when we stumbled over the lines. He said, "You make ordinary moments feel like holidays." I carried that sentence like a fragile cup and tried not to spill it. Language note. In English, we often use physical verbs for emotional ideas. When I say I carried that sentence, I mean I treasured it and kept it close to my heart. But red flags rarely arrive like sirens. They arrive like whispers. The first whisper was last-minute cancellations. There was always a reason: deadline, headache, a friend in crisis. I wanted to be flexible, to be mature. I told myself, adults are busy. The second whisper: when I shared my small wins, he went quiet. When I shared my worries, he changed the subject. In public, he was warm. In private, sometimes he drifted like fog. I practiced clear speech. I said, I feel confused when plans change at the last minute. Notice the pattern. I feel plus emotion plus when plus situation. It names the feeling without blame, and it's a helpful English sentence frame. He kissed my forehead and said he'd try. For a week, he did. Then came Thursday. I had a big presentation on Friday. I texted, "Wish me luck?" No reply. An hour later, a photo. Neon lights, drinks with friends, a laugh that looked loud even in silence. My heart felt heavy, like walking through water with stones in my shoes. I turned my phone face down and stared at the ceiling until the shadows looked like maps I couldn't read. Saturday, we sat on a park bench. The wind moved the leaves like quiet applause no one could hear. I asked, "Are you in this with me?" He looked past my face into the distance and said, I don't think I can be what you need. My chest tightened, my hands shook. The world tilted a few degrees. I whispered, "Is there someone else?" He didn't answer. Sometimes silence is an answer. I nodded like a person in a movie who already knows the ending but watches anyway because they want to understand how the scene unfolds. I walked home slowly. I closed my door and slid down to the floor. I cried for the dinners that got cold, for the messages that never came, for the poems we never finished. Then I cried because I was angry at how I had edited myself to keep him comfortable, cutting parts of my truth like a tailor making a dress smaller and smaller until I could barely breathe. Language note: to edit myself is figurative. It means I removed parts of my needs, opinions, and boundaries to avoid conflict. That night, I wrote a letter I never sent. I wrote, "I deserve consistency. I deserve respect. I deserve to be someone's first choice, not their backup plan." Writing felt like turning on a light in a dark room. The furniture didn't move, but suddenly I could see. In the following weeks, the city became a museum of us. The coffee shop was a room called Spring. The bus stop was Beginnings. The corner with the florist was the Day of Sunflowers. I avoided our songs at first, but grief has a strange rhythm. It dances in circles, not straight lines. One morning, I woke up and realized I had slept without dreaming of him. That tiny victory felt like sunrise, pale but brave. Healing wasn't a switch, it was a practice. I started small. I took myself on walks and looked up at trees like they were teachers. "Notice how branches reach for light," the trees seemed to say. I cooked for myself and sat at the table. No screens, a real plate, a candle. Because I am worth ceremony. I texted a friend, "Please check on me this week." Asking for support isn't weakness. It's wisdom and a healthy sentence in English. Please check on me. I began a ritual called Evidence I'm Healing, a list I kept on a sticky note by the door. I can pass the coffee shop without holding my breath. I answer messages the same day. I eat breakfast at the table and taste it. I make plans with myself and keep them. A walk, a chapter of a book, watering the plants, washing the cup before bed. Sometimes I still broke down. Grief has seasons, and sometimes it snows even in April. On those nights, I practiced a grounding exercise. 5 things I could see, 4 I could touch, 3 I could hear, 2 I could smell, 1 kind sentence I could say to myself. Usually I said, "You're doing your best. That is enough." Language note: that is enough can be a complete sentence in English. It sets a boundary with others or toward yourself.
I learned 4 words that became a map: boundaries, standards, reciprocity, closure. A boundary protects what matters. Practice this line: "My boundary is consistency. Please tell me if plans change." A standard is the minimum for respect. Practice: "My standard is clear communication. Please let me know if you'll be late." Reciprocity means balanced give and take. Try: "I want reciprocity. I don't want to be the only one trying." Closure is emotional completion. Sometimes you receive it, sometimes you create it by accepting reality. Practice: "Thank you for what we shared. I'm choosing to move on." I wish someone had told me earlier to watch patterns, not promises. A promise is a future idea. A pattern is present behavior. The sentence I carry now is, "Your words and your actions don't match." It's simple, it's useful, it's enough. On Sundays, I gave myself a ceremony called Reset. I cleaned my room for 15 minutes, opened the window, and read 1 poem out loud. Then I practiced 1 English sentence about feelings. My favorite was, "I'm allowed to want more." I said it slowly. I'm allowed to want more. I let the words land like seeds. I also wrote letters to future me. They were small and practical. Dear future me, remember to eat before you're starving. Remember to leave parties when your shoulders are tired. Remember that no is a complete sentence. Remember to buy tulips when you see them on sale. I learned the difference between loneliness and aloneness. Loneliness hurt, like a dark room with the lamp broken. Aloneness sometimes felt like space, a clean, quiet table where I could lay out my life and decide what to keep. In English, you can say, I am alone, but I am not abandoned. There is dignity in that sentence. Months passed. I saw him on the street. He said, "How have you been?" A wave of old feelings walked by me like a song from another room. I took a breath and used clear language. I'm healing. I wish you well. Then I walked into a bookstore and bought myself flowers, wild ones, a little messy. I put them on my kitchen table and whispered, "Welcome home." There were setbacks. One evening, I listened to our old playlist and felt the floor tilt again. I cried into a dish towel in the kitchen, holding the counter like it could hold me back. But I noticed the difference. The crying didn't break me. It rinsed me. When the tears ended, I made tea and wrote 3 lines. I am safe. I am learning. I am allowed to rest. Language note. I am allowed to rest is a compassionate permission sentence. In English, giving yourself permission out loud can shift your mindset. I want to teach you a tiny dialogue you can have with yourself in the mirror, only you and your reflection. Question: what do you feel? Answer: I feel sad and tired. Question: what do you need? Answer: I need reassurance and rest. Then turn that into a boundary with someone you love. I'm feeling tired. I need to call you tomorrow. I made a list of firsts after. The first time I laughed without remembering to be sad. The first time I danced in the kitchen because the kettle whistled like a happy bird. The first time I wore the sweater I had avoided and realized it was only cloth, not a ghost. The first time I explained to a friend without tears what had happened and what I had learned. Here's something else I learned. Self-respect can be quiet. It doesn't always look like shouting, "I deserve better." Sometimes it looks like closing the laptop at 10, or not replying to a message at midnight, or choosing silence instead of an argument you've already had 10 times. In English, you can say, "That doesn't work for me." You don't have to justify or debate. That sentence can stand like a small, strong tree. I also practiced being thankful for tiny, ordinary things. A spoon shining in the sink, the smell of oranges, the way the bus driver nodded when I tapped my card. Gratitude didn't erase pain, but it gave the pain a softer chair to sit on. There is a myth that healing makes you fearless. It didn't for me. I still felt nervous on first dates. I still checked my phone too often sometimes. But I carried different questions. Not, am I good enough for him? Instead, is he good for me? Not, how can I make this work at any cost? Instead, do our values fit? In English, a helpful question is, what does commitment look like to you? Ask it, then listen to the answer and the pattern that follows. One afternoon, I returned to the coffee shop. The barista remembered my order. I sat by the window and took out a pencil and a notebook. I wrote lines that felt like bridges. I deserve clear love. My standards are kind and steady. I can be heartbroken and hopeful at the same time. My future is not a backup plan. Then I watched people pass by with umbrellas that looked like flowers, and I felt part of the world again, not a character in a story that ended, but a person still writing. If you're learning English, here are practice phrases that helped me live better. I'm not available for last-minute plans tonight. I need time to think. I'll reply tomorrow. Please don't minimize my feelings. I need clarity about where we stand. Thank you for the good memories. I'm choosing a different path. I appreciate the invitation, but I'll pass. I can't commit to that right now. Notice the polite yet firm structure in these sentences. I need, I'm not available, I appreciate, but these set boundaries without aggression. I want to share a small story inside the story. A week after the breakup, I saw an older couple arguing gently in the park. Not dramatic, just two people trying to understand each other. The man said, "I didn't know you needed that." And the woman replied, "I didn't know how to say it." I wrote that down. Sometimes we aren't unloving, we are unpracticed, and practice is something we can do. So I practiced. I feel hurt. I need reassurance. I feel overwhelmed. I need a plan. I feel joyful. I want to celebrate. I practiced alone first, then with a friend, then in the mirror, then in the world. The sentences felt awkward at the beginning, like new shoes. Then they began to fit. I kept learning from my body, too. When my shoulders crept up toward my ears, I knew I was carrying a conversation by myself again. When my stomach felt tight, I knew I had ignored a boundary. I started keeping a small notebook called Signals. I wrote, tight jaw equals say no sooner. Rushed heartbeat, ask for time. Deep calm, alignment. In English, you can say, I'm listening to my body's signals. That sentence surprised people, and sometimes it surprised me. There were still nights I missed him. Memory is stubborn. It keeps spare keys. But even when the door opened, I didn't have to walk inside. I could stand at the threshold and nod to the past like an old neighbor. Thank you for the lesson, I would say in my mind. I'm going to bed now. On the anniversary of our first coffee, I wrote another letter I didn't send. It was gentler than the first. Thank you for holding the door that day. Thank you for the poems by candlelight. I forgive us for not knowing how to tell the truth sooner. I release you to your life, and I return to mine. Then I made lemon pasta. Yes, too much pepper again, and I ate it slowly, aware of my own company. If you're crying right now, breathe with me. In, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. Put a hand on your heart if you can. Say, I'm learning. Again, I'm learning. Learning a language, learning love, learning boundaries. All of them take time. You are not late. You are right on time for your life. Here is your tiny homework list, if you want one. 1. Write 3 I feel, I need sentences about something real this week. 2. Choose one boundary sentence and practice it in a mirror. Example, that doesn't work for me. 3. Plan a small ceremony for yourself. Tea at a table, a walk without your phone, a letter you write and do not send. 4. Make an evidence I'm healing note and add one item each day, even if it's small. And here is a closing script you can borrow anytime. Thank you for what we shared. I'm choosing a future that chooses me back. I wish you peace. Say it slowly, let it live in your mouth. Let it steady your voice. My voice is steadier now, but my eyes are still a little teary because truth is tender. If your voice is shaking right now, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're honest. May your boundaries be clear, your standards kind and firm, your love, especially your self-love, consistent. And when the next chapter begins, may it begin with you choosing yourself on the first page.
Hey, you're early. Where's everyone?
Well, I told them not to come. I made a reservation just for the two of us. I thought we could have a quiet evening all to ourselves.
Oh, why?
Jennifer, there's something I want to ask you.
Sure. What is it?
Okay. Here's the thing. I've always seen you as more than just a friend, and I can't take it anymore. I know you better than anyone. I know the pros and cons of your personality. I even know what side of the bed is yours. I think we would be great together, don't you?
Are you serious? We've been friends for years. We can't just change that overnight.
I know. I never had the guts to tell you until today. So, what do you say? Are you willing to give me a shot?
All right, so that's a little bit clearer this time. But while I was listening, I noticed that there's some more great phrases that you can use together with different words. So let's look at those now and putting it together.
Putting it together.
All right, let's take a look at the first one. He said, I made a reservation just for the two of us.
The two of us.
Just the two of us.
So just the two of us. Quite simply, it means you and me, just us, right?
Right, just us. So why is this phrase important?
I think it's a great way to show the idea of only us, right?
Right.
And we can use it together with any number we want.
So what about the four of us?
Just the four of us.
Okay.
Just the eight of us.
Okay.
So it suggests the idea of only us. You know?
Okay. So he made the reservation just for the two of us because he thought they could have a quiet evening all to ourselves.
All to ourselves.
All to ourselves.
All to ourselves.
If you have something all to yourself, or we have something all to ourselves.
We have that thing all alone. We don't have to share it.
We don't share. Very
Yeah.
good. So I guess you can say, my parents are out of town, so I have the house all to myself.
Or even, she wants to eat the cake all to herself.
Very good. So that's a very good phrase.
And you can use it with any pronoun. Well, so the guy is explaining that I've always seen you as more than just a friend.
I've always seen you as.
I've always seen you as.
So basically is the perception or the way you consider that person.
The way you think about that person.
So I can say, I've always seen you as a good friend.
I've always seen you as a leader. Okay, so our last phrase is also the last thing we heard in the dialogue. He said, are you willing to give me a shot?
Are you willing to give me a shot?
To give me a shot.
Give me a shot. All right, I think we have some more examples of how we could use give me a shot in different situations, so let's listen.
Example 1.
I know I can do this drawing better. Just give me a shot.
Example 2.
The HR manager wasn't going to hire me, but he decided to give me a shot.
Okay, so when you give someone a shot, you take a chance, right?
Give that person or give an opportunity.
All right, so we don't know if she will give him a shot or not, but why don't we listen to the dialogue once more to hear these phrases in action?
Hey, you're early. Where's everyone?
Well, I told them not to come. I made a reservation just for the two of us. I thought we could have a quiet evening all to ourselves.
Oh, why?
Jennifer, there's something I want to ask you.
Sure. What is it?
Okay, here's the thing. I've always seen you as more than just a friend, and I can't take it anymore. I know you better than anyone. I know the pros and cons of your personality. I even know what side of the bed is yours. I think we would be great together, don't you?
Are you serious? We've been friends for years. We can't just change that overnight.
I know. I never had the guts to tell you. Until today. So what do you say? Are you willing to give me a shot?
All right, so an interesting dialogue, and it opens up a cultural point.
That's right. So in the dialogue, the guy was asking her if she would be his girlfriend, right?
Right, but I guess it's not very common among adults, at least,
Yep.
in English-speaking countries.
Yeah, we don't say like, okay, so please will you be my boyfriend now, you know?
Right. You would do that maybe in high school. Or...
Yeah, but even then, I think it's still a little funny. I think for us, when we start to have romantic relationships, it just sort of happens naturally, right?
Right.
You never really have this conversation, will you be my boyfriend?
Right, I guess afterwards you just start talking about other things,
Yeah.
which you just consider that you guys are already boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
But there's no real...
There's no official starting point.
Yeah, there's no official point that says, okay, now we are boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yep.
Which is interesting because in other countries, they do go through the formality of
Yep.
asking somebody to become their boyfriend.
Yeah. But even, like 20 or 30 years ago in English-speaking countries, you would do this.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And it was called going steady.
Going steady.
So you would ask, will you go steady with me?
And that means let's become a stable couple.
Exactly.
All right, so we want to hear your stories. And, well, how do you do it in your country? Do you ask someone out? Do you maybe just give them the first kiss and that's an automatic yes?
Well, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to hearing from our listeners. So, guys, check out our website, englishpod.com. You can leave your questions and comments there.
All right, we'll see you guys there. And until next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.